Hi there, everyone. Good morning. And come back to you. All right. Janae Johnson. Good morning, Queen. Hi, babe. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted. Let's see. Can you all hear me? I'm so sorry. I don't quite have my SHI together because my little doggy is sick and I was running around. She ate a bag of doggy treats. Oops. So she's not feeling good. But I still wanted to come on. Like, I could have canceled, but I really want to talk about this exact system that I used to build a global movement, which did become worldwide, is worldwide. And what I did, let me get my notes here. So I'm in my office. This is one thing that I did. I always have a dedicated workspace. And hi, Janae, good morning. If you don't have your own dedicated workspace, that if there's like one thing you could leave with today, it is that. Give yourself the time and space away from everyone to be able to like really go to work and channel your content and stay connected to the vision that you have. So this is my workspace. These are my calendars. You see, here's my files and things that I need to take care of that I don't want to look at, but this is kind of my inspiration. And I put on my board, I put calendars with the energetic timing cycles, and I put little notes that people have written to me so that I can stay inspired when I don't remember or when I forget what it is I'm up to. So I just wanted to show you that. All right, so this is the exact system that I used to create a worldwide movement, which back in 2015 was called the Worldwide Women's Circle. So I originally created the Worldwide Women's Circle because I wanted to there's a couple things going on, as I alluded to yesterday. One of those things was I had been doing body work and healing arts and working with people for close to 10 years, but I knew that I was like going through a death cycle at that time, and I was close to the end. What I mean by that is my time of doing massage and my time of working with people in that specific way was coming to an end, but I didn't know what else I could do because my identity was totally wrapped up. Hi, good morning, everyone. My identity was totally wrapped up in this idea of being a healer. Was like with the most amazing body worker, you know, when people tell you you're really good at something, I believed it and I wrapped my identity around it. But by 2015, I knew that was coming to an end. It wasn't serving me anymore and I didn't quite know how to get to it. So when I came up with the vision of the Worldwide Women's Circle, it was like I was bridging the past, which was, you know, my life as a body worker and a healer, and the future, which I had always, like, I've always known that I was a teacher, that I am a teacher. If you come and take a program with me, you will get why I say that, because I'm a prolific content creator. I love to write manuals. Dorley will tell you. Kat will tell you. I've got manuals. I love manuals. That's what I love creating. So I'm a teacher, and I've always wanted to teach facilitators and body workers and healers, but I didn't know how to get there because, again, I was so wrapped up in that identity of myself. And so when I came up with the vision for the Worldwide Women's Circle, I immediately was like, oh, I can't do that. Right? I can't do that. I didn't, deep down inside, I have had and still have, you know, some self-worth stuff very common, and also that feeling of not good enough. So I was already in a place like already feeling deflated. But if I pulled away that inner critic, that's my inner critic, right? That's not a part of me. That part of us that says we're not good enough, that's generally from when we were a kid. Someone told us that, we created a belief around it, and then it colors our entire life. So mine is I'm not good enough. So that's the first thing that came up. I put that aside, and I truly committed to at least having one worldwide event where women would come together in women's circles all around the world. I did not know how I was going to do it. I just knew that I had the idea and I needed to try. So step one is I chose to do it. I just said, okay, yes, I'm going to do this. And this was after going back and forth for, weeks, maybe months around what I wanted to do. So I chose to do it. And once I got clear in my mind that I was going to do it. Okay, relief to my nervous system. Then it was time to declare. So step 2 was I put it out there. I declared and I shared. The first thing I did was I called my best friend, Kelsey Lawford, who is still a part of this movement and is a very dear friend of mine. And I was like, look, I had this idea. I am so vulnerable with this idea, but I want to share it with you because I want to know what you think. Is this a good idea or is this like a bad idea? So she listens to the whole idea and she's like, oh my God, this is actually a brilliant idea. And she like confirmed that I was correct. And that at least gave me some like, okay, yeah. Because here's the thing, there was already people doing worldwide events. I think at the time, there was like, unified meditation events happening. And so I knew that it could be done, right? And here's the other thing, is that when you are pulling an idea out of consciousness, when it is coming to you and it is being channeled to you, you are not the only person who is channeling that idea. That idea is living in the consciousness, in the collective consciousness. So other people have access to that idea. If you don't do this idea, someone else is going to do the idea. In this case, for me, yeah, there's Global Sisterhood who is doing worldwide events. I didn't know it at the time. There was another Global Sisterhood Day that was already happening. So I was right on the money. This idea wasn't pure to me. I was just reading the collective, what was wanting to happen. So I chose to do it and I said yes, right? And then I had to declare it. So the declare was, I did a YouTube video. It was a Facebook video, right? I shot it on my phone and I was so resistant to doing it, but it was 2 minutes of sharing, talking about the power of Women's Circle, what women's circles do, why women's circles are important. What is the future like if women don't take care of their BS with each other, right? Because a women's circle really brings a lot of healing to women. And then what would the world be like if women did come together and get connected? So that was my share. It was 3 parts. What I see, what the world would be like if women's circles, if women didn't do their work, and then what's the probable, almost certain future, what's the future, and then what would it be like? So it was more of I was putting it out there into my community around, look, would you like to participate in this event, right? I was touched, moved, and inspired by it and scared. But anything that is worth doing is going to scare you, maybe even terrify you. All good things. And I was putting myself out there and I was sharing. So I posted this video. It was a 2-minute video. Your videos probably shouldn't be longer than that, but this one is going to be. I tagged a bunch of my friends. I was completely terrified. I shut the computer down and I walked away. And I was like, oh my God, no one is going to want to participate in this. No one is going to want to do this. This sucks. I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. Blah, 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 blah. Like we go down the rabbit hole. So step 4 was I got over myself. And actually I had to get over myself multiple times. And I have to continue to get over myself as I have grown this, as I have taken action. There's things that I have to let go of over and over and over again. And I'm a very confident person. I'm sure that you can tell that. But sometimes that confidence gets in the way. Sometimes that confidence is ego. And I really have to be clear on what that is. Like, am I being committed to this project, or am I being attached to some outcome that I think that I need? So I needed to get over myself. In this case, I posted the video and I opened the computer 8 hours later and the project had been shared like 23 times. I had people that I didn't even know saying yes to this project. The video had been seen like 1,000 times, and this is in 8 hours. And then the project people had said yes from Africa, from Canada, and from the United States. Like, boom. All right, we're in the money. We're in the running. So that was like the first 3 things that you need to start anything. And this goes for you. This goes for you if you're starting a worldwide project, if you're starting a movement, if you're starting your own business, if you're anything that you're creating. Step 1 is choose to do it. Step 2 is be coachable, but also stand in your knowledge. Understand that what you are sourcing is true and pure to you, but you're not the only person who is thinking about that idea. So you're either going to do it or you're not. Number 3 is declare. Declare and share, right? Like put yourself out there. Draw a line in the sand. I'm going to do this. All right. Then go tell someone. Because when you tell someone, it gives you accountability. So then that person can be like, okay, yeah. So about that project you were talking about 3 months ago, how's that going? Number 4 was get over myself. Get over yourself. Like understand that when you're doing something for humanity, it's not about you. It can serve you, it can source you, but it's not about you. So so now we're in the first 4 steps. So after the very first event happened, we had 22 circles in Africa, United States, and Canada. And I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, what's next? And then the women started asking me what's next. They're like, okay, we just did this whole thing. It was amazing. Let's do another one. So I was like, okay. So this is step 5, is allow it to take a life of its own. When you have a great idea, people are going to be a demand for that idea. People are going to want to participate. And when you allow other people to participate in your project, it's going to take a life of its own. It's going to become a living project, a living concept in other people's lives. So you really this requires letting go of control and allowing. Like every day I was in the allowing. Okay, what wants to come through me right now? What does this project want to become? And I did that every day. And I'm still in the looking. I'm always looking at what this wants to become. And you can see it. You can see it in the way that the women at the time we were doing Just Women, responded to it. And in the way that things began to show up, right? Like people began to show up. The resources that I needed began to show up. I would meet the right woman at the right time, or she would get introduced to me and we would jump on a call. I got connected to hundreds of women, hundreds of facilitators, hundreds of connectors, hundreds of women who really wanted to lead women's circles but had no idea how to do it. So I allowed myself to not know it all. In fact, I didn't know. All I knew was I loved women's circles and I knew how to facilitate women's circles and I understand energy. Those are the two things I did know. Other than that, I did not know how to start a worldwide movement. This was an accident. A very good accident. I mean, it's the best accident that could have ever happened to me in my life. But I allowed it to take a life of its own. And what that meant was, I was in the listening. Very important piece is the listening. And the listening allowed me to know when I needed to invite certain people to this event. Say yes or no to circle leaders, because not everyone got in, and not everyone who said they would lead circles also led circles. Like there's a lot of people, and this is actually why leadership came into the picture, because integrity is very important. And there's one thing that I found among spiritual healers is that they're kind of flaky, and they need like this piece of like this structure, this masculine. It is very masculine. They need structure. They need to be held accountable. If you want the things in your life, you need to be accountable to them. So I wonder if integrity needs to be laced into every single one of these pieces. Integrity to my word and keeping my word. Integrity in doing the things that I said I was going to do and doing them on time, or doing them at the right time, because not everything is on time, but everything is at the right time. It allowed me to understand what the themes and the concepts were going on at that time. I mean, I remember like every single theme created this whole new context, this whole new shamanic space, multidimensional space for healing. So I just allowed it to open up on its own and take a life of its own, and continue to listen and tune in to what she wants. I started to filter this voice as the voice of she and the voice of the feminine, because this isn't how we are told to do business. We're told to market a certain way. We're told to follow an exact system. Not everyone has the same system, right? Like, especially when you're living in feminine containers. Like, the feminine is a space. The masculine is that structure, right? So you do need structure, but you also need space. You also need to give yourself a space. And when I gave space to the Worldwide Women's Circle and what it wanted to become, everything came, like magic happened. We're going on 5 years, so I can't pull out all of the magic, but my biggest piece of magic was being at the temple at Burning Man, 2017. We had a Worldwide Women's Circle, and we had 6 Worldwide Women's Circle leaders there, and then me. And we collaborated with the free hug crew, and they made these daisy chains, and then we brought the chains into the temple. And so it's sunrise at the temple, and we walk into the temple, and there's hundreds of people, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm about to lead all these people we're about to throw down here. And I had other people participating. There was a song, there was a couple songs, there was a saying, there was people talking, and it was the most incredible, powerful moment. And confirmation, one of the natives from the reservation, Pyramid Lake Reservation, was there. He was there. And he got up. He was in the middle of the temple, and we're around him, and he stands up and he's like, thank you for doing ceremony here. We welcome you. My grandmother welcomes you. And he welcomed us in the ceremony to the land. I mean, you can't get any more magical than that. Wow. We had circles that became festivals, like in Croatia. Isadora, her circle began as a 5-person circle, and then became 100-person festival in the town square in Croatia. And excuse me, my little dog's getting sick if you hear something weird. But that is the magic that happens when you allow something to take on a life of its own. Yeah, wow. It's big. This big stuff that we were up to. This all happened in the listening and the tuning in. Now, I'm just going to go through it because we're at number 7. I have choose to do it, be coachable, but also stand in your knowledge, declare and share, get over myself, get over yourself, allow it to take on a life of its own, listen and tune in. Now, trust. Trust is a big one. Trust, I think, encompasses a lot of avenues because you have to trust yourself that you know where to go. Stella, hey. No. Excuse me. 1 second. Come here. Come here. No. Come on. So you have to know where to go. You have to be able to listen and know that it's the right way. But even if it isn't the right way, it's a way, right? It's a way that you're going, and you need to trust that. You need to trust the listening, your own listening. You need to let go. So I also want to say here that I made mistakes at this. There's things, and I'm going to share them. I think I should share them tomorrow, my biggest mistakes that I made, because this has been a learning process that I've had to go through, and I've made many mistakes. Totally okay. But even though I made those mistakes, I didn't beat myself up. I still continued to move on. I maybe took a break when I needed to, but I also knew when it was time to let go. So I knew when it was time to let go. And of the Worldwide Women's Circle. The Worldwide Women's Circle went on for 4 years. We did 4,000 women, men, and children in circle. Lots of amazing, crazy stories of magic and miracles. And last year, it was 2017, I heard the message. It was the end of 2017, going into 2018, that this was going to be the last year for the Worldwide Women's Circle. And I was like, what? I mean, this is my life at this point, how is that going to happen? And it kept coming through. And actually, Janae, it was Patricia. She was like, "You're the global turn on." She said this to me. It was a woman I was in circle with, Christina Marassi, does an awesome dark feminine or exploring feminine archetypes program. So I was in her program. It was called Pleasure CEO. And Janae was in that program. And one of the women, amazing elder, 80-year-old, totally turned on woman, Patricia, she says to me, she looks at me and she's like, "You're the global turn on." I was like, "What?" Okay. She goes, "You're the global turn on." And I was like, whoa, wow. That acknowledgement in the listening, like in your listening, things will begin to show up. They will show you where you need to go. So she says, "You're the global turn on." And I was like, holy moly. Okay. I didn't really know what to do with it. I sat on it for 7 months. And then I was in a meditation, and she said it was time. And she, again, meaning the voice of she, the feminine, she says the global turn on is going to be the Worldwide Women's Circle. Right? Yeah, Patricia. She says the Worldwide Women's Circle is the global turn on. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I knew the Worldwide Women's Circle was ending, but then here's the global turn on, right? And then it was, I kind of like, I knew that it was time to let go, but I still wasn't present to the fact that in order to let go, you actually have to let go. So December came around of last year, and it dawned on me that this was the last month. Like we were completing the Worldwide Women's Circle. And I didn't have anything created for the global turn on. I didn't really know what the global turn on was going to be. I knew that the Worldwide Women's Circle itself needed to change. It needed to be more inclusive. It needed to serve a wider group of people. And so that's where my listening went. That's what was showing up. And I want you to know, I didn't put this in here, but it's very important. I wasn't sitting at home, as my mentor Linnell says, eating bonbons. That was not happening. I get up every morning, and Doralee will tell you, she's my housemate. I get up and I come to work. I have work hours, right? I get up every single morning and I come to work. I have a list of things that I want to get done, which I will get to, right? So I have a dedicated workspace like I'm showing you. This is like the nice part of my workspace. And then here's the kind of messy part of my workspace. And then I'm going to show you this part. So this is where I do my spiritual work and I do my meditation. And then that's my ring light. That's where I do my coaching calls. So it's kind of like an all-in-one. So in order to bring your vision to life, you must take action. But it's inside of your listening that you're going to know what actions you need to take. And I also had a lot of help. I have mentors. I have people that I run things by. I have a team. Yeah. Thank you, Janae. She says, "I love your integrity, structure, system, flow." Yeah. You need to have it all. We can't actually only have a feminine business. There needs to be structure, which is why, even the global turn on, as I talked about the icon, if you look at the global turn on, it's a bowl with a rod going into it. It's like the power button. But those two things must come together. You know, you need to have integrity, and you also need to have flow. There needs to be space for listening and flow and allowing and opening, and there also needs to be actions and sharing, and you need to have both. So the system is really just getting out there and going and getting messy. Like taking this vision, this thing. It's like, I have this thing that I know is going to be it's a good idea, right? Am I willing to take that on? You know, these ideas that you have. Can you take it on? Can you say yes to it? If you can say yes to it and be like, I'm all in on this. This is it. It's do or die. You will be successful. All right, I'm going to go over this one more time. And I'm curious, if you have questions, please ask questions. I am available to ask questions after this. Okay, so 1 is choose to do it. 2 is be coachable, but also stand in your knowledge, which kind of means like you got to allow for other people's opinions and also know when to do your own thing. Because yesterday I told you that I had to stop listening to other people. There's people that have knowledge that you don't have. Go to those people. Those are your mentors. Those are your cohorts. There's people right now in your community that know what you need to do, and they would be willing to help you for free, probably. You know, like maybe you could trade. Maybe when you're starting from the beginning, you don't want to spend a ton of money on a bunch of stuff. Like you don't want to invest $30,000 in a marketing program. Please don't do that. There's people out there that will help you. And there's people right now in your community. I can feel them. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people in my room right now. So whatever you are up to, reach out. Reach out and ask for help. So 3 is declare and share. Declaring is like putting yourself out there and saying, I'm doing this. Like I'm drawing a line in the sand. And then sharing is about continuing to share. Like it's not just you share one time. You have to get good at sharing. You have to share. Like most people only want to share when there's something good. Share all the time. Get in the habit of sharing so that people know what's going on with you, right? Kat says, great, perfect. There are people in your community who want to participate with you. And that is very true. And Kat is actually, she's on the team, right? And she jumped on the team. And there's been many team members. I didn't put that in here, but when you get into sharing, there's people that are going to want to participate with you. And then the other part of sharing is about making requests, right? Invitations to people that serve as opportunities to help you on the thing that you're working on. 4 was get over myself. Just like understanding, you know, part of my confidence, the dark side, the ego, is that I know everything, that I know it all, right? So it's like, get over yourself. 5, allow it to take a life of its own. Really allowing. This is a feminine principle right here, is allowing. Because, right, we have to receive, right? But first, before is like, can you allow that to come into your life? And can you allow this project that you're working on to take on a life of its own? And when you do that, your community will begin to show up. When you take actions inside of allowing, you will allow help, you will allow resources, you will allow money to come to you, you will allow all of it. A really big piece is allowing. 6 was listening and tuning in, being in the listening for what wants to come through, what wants to happen, and tuning in. Like, I can't tell you, if you are a spiritual being, you need to take time to tune in every day. Every day. Spiritual health is probably the most important thing health-wise that you need to pay attention to if you are, especially if you're working in feminine containers. You need access to your spirituality. And for that, you need to take time and you need to slow down. And I actually, in my Descend program, which is open now, we're actually going to start next Wednesday at 12 p.m. until October 27th. We're going to make the space for your project, your creation. We're going to create space and we're going to build spiritual health and integrity around it. 7 is trust, trusting yourself, trusting this project, trusting your listening, trusting other people to help you. If you give something away, you want to trust them, trust those people. And then 8 is knowing when it is time to let go. And then a bonus thing here that needs just to be weaved into all of this is to be in action. Now, it's not, people that have gone through my programs, they know that I speak this. It's not about what you're doing. It's who you're being, right? So you need to take time and space to allow, right? And then you will get to your do. I did a lot of doing. I am a doer. I get a lot of stuff done. But I set myself up so that I can do that. And I ask for a lot of help. And I have a lot of mentors. To help me. Right now I've got 4 mentors. People helping me. Of people who are standing for me. And then I have a team. Kat Fauché is on this team. And Sergio is on this team. And then I have partners. Dora Lee is a partner. And Maria Yesborough is a partner. So I have lots of partners. And I'm so grateful for all of my partners and all of my mentors. And just like, if I had gone and done this alone by myself, this would have never happened. I would not be where I am today. I would not be training facilitators and coaches and women's circles. I would not be leading a global movement. I would not be making money doing the thing that I love to do. And I know that it's possible for you to do the same. That you can create anything that matters to you. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm curious if you guys have any questions for me. Anything at all. I'm going to just take a sip of my coffee. And my water. Thank you, Dora Lee. I love you very much. Okay, any questions? So, yay! Janae says, this is the best call in months. Woohoo! That's amazing. Thank you so much. I love that. And I love you so much. Tomorrow, so I'm committing to doing this every day at 9. tomorrow I'm going to tell you about my mistakes. Yeah. Okay, wait, I have a question. So tomorrow I'm going to share with you about all my mistakes, all of the mistakes, the brilliant mistakes that I made. Because each mistake is perfect in its own way, but I definitely made lots of mistakes. So I'm going to share those with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. And okay, so question from Kat. What's your biggest masculine obstacle when trying to live as a feminine business leader? By far, it's letting the to-do list lead the way. I am not driven by my to-do list. I am driven by my commitment right now. Driven by my commitment. And the to-do list is the quickest way to burn out. If you focus on just your to-do list, you will burn out 100%. If you try to do this, me, myself, and I, if you try to do this on a timeline, you're going to burn yourself out. Let's see. Janae says, my husband is on my team right now. Yes, I'm trying to scale with a local offering. Need to learn how to offer online. Well, okay, let's just talk, because that could be something really easy as far as learning how to offer it online. You might just need some tools, like to know which tools you need, and I'm happy to help you with that, Janae. Yeah, like honestly, I've always had my local business. I've always had a local business, a local offering, a way for people to see me and work one-on-one with me. I found that this was before the internet was a thing. This was before like even Facebook was a thing or online marketing was a thing. That's how long I've been doing business. I did post on Craigslist a couple of times, but I really focused on building my local community, because that local community, that's where those people were my customers. That's where I made money. Before doing it online, I did it local so that I could understand, that I could just learn how to I learned how to build my business brick and mortar style, local business, and then took it online. And online is not that hard. I think it seems harder than it is. But Janae, I am happy to help you. So maybe you have my phone number. Text me. If you text me today, we can jump on the phone and I could go through some of it with you. I'm happy to do that. But like your stuff is needed in your local community. I'll tell you that right now. And those people are going to become they're going to become your source. They're going to become the people who work with you in deeper offerings. If you were to lead something in person, right? So she says, you say, I love connecting face to face with people, feeling challenged because I am still working. My to-do list keeps things on my radar. Yeah, to-do list is important. The to-do list is important. It just can't be the thing that runs you. And Janae, part of what might be helpful is like, I'm sure you've made enough impact in the world, in your local community already through, the work that you do, that you could find an intern. Like, I'm sure that you could find someone to help you work, and while you're at work, they're doing stuff for you. So that to-do list still gets done, but you get to do the work that you love doing. And, I totally get what it's like to, have 3 businesses and then this thing that you love doing, or even like 1 full-time job and then the thing that you love doing. It does take something to step away, but you can do it and you will do it. I know that you will do it. It's just about setting up the right team And yeah, setting up the right team and then like taking the leap. Yeah. Janae says, thanks. I will text you. I feel a bit isolated. I need mentors. Oh my God, an intern. Brilliant. I bet you know someone right now. There's like maybe 5 people even. And like, I love Janae. You guys need to know this woman. She is a freaking powerhouse, badass, amazing mama. And like, your work needs to be out there in the world. I'll tell you that. But I love the work that you do and love to help you. Okay, so any other questions? Any questions about anything? It could be mindset. It could be feminine containers. It could be about your own personal brand, anything. It could be about your personal life. Like if there's something that's kind of burning that you want to ask me, I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to stay on. You're so welcome, Janae. And if you haven't taken a breath in a while, go ahead and do that. Yes. Okay. Well, I think with that, I'm going to complete. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on 9 a.m. I'm going to tell you about my mistakes. And and I'll also talk about like being the space too. Do I have a movement practice? Yes, I do have a movement practice. I love to dance, and I have to say that you're totally calling me on this one. I could move more. I was actually just sharing this last night. Like, my body has been asking me to move. So go for long walks on the beach. But I do dance, but a lot of times it's facilitating. So that's definitely something I could do more. What does Ellen say? She says, all I can say is I'm reaping the benefits after working with you. Oh, I love you so much. Very much, Ellen. Yay! Thank you so much for being on today. Yeah, okay. And then we are looking for Global Turn On Leaders, October 27th. There's a couple ways that you can participate. You can lead a circle. You can... We want to focus on you doing what you love, like what turns you on. You do what you love on that day. So for some of you, that's a women's circle. For some of you, that could be bringing your organization together for an event. And these don't have to be free. This could be paid. Actually, I prefer them paid because I want to make sure you all get paid. You can go ahead and just sign up at that link. Or we're looking for guardians. So on that space, on that day, on October 27th, if you are available to be a guardian, which means you hold space and you observe on that day, we are also looking for that. So this is really important work. I want to see you there and sign up. October 27th. It's totally free. And it's free for me, but not for people who come to you if you don't want them to be. Yeah. And thank you. I love you. We are complete.